Today, my exciting guest is Janisha. I believe she goes by Nisha. I know I'm gonna butcher her name quite a few times.
That's right. No, you actually did really good compared to a lot of people.
Oh, thank you. And the reason why I like to have you on the show is because I saw a lot of your work and some of your videos on Instagram. And I actually thought this was something that would be interesting to see a woman that is actually doing woodwork. Usually you see a lot of guys doing woodwork. And also I noticed that you incorporate a lot of different mediums into the wood. And I actually thought this would be a perfect opportunity to kind of share with the audience today about how did you get started? Why did you come up with this whole business concept? And the name of your business, you call it Woodworks ATL. So
Correct.
if you can kind of explain a little bit about that and how you came up with the business.
So it was actually a complete accident. We had purchased a house 2 years ago, and I wanted a table for my back patio. And I was like, you don't see these in stores. So I'm just creative. So I'm like, I'm going to make it myself. So I go in the garage and get some wood and watch some YouTube videos. And I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. I stain it, put a picture up on Instagram, and then next thing you know, people are like, "Oh, you made that? Can you make this? Can you make that?" So I'm like, maybe this can be a new business. But my dad, he used to have a bunk bed business when we were kids, so I guess it's kind of in the bloodstream somewhere. How it just came naturally, but ever since I posted that one picture, I haven't had any dead periods of orders. So it's just something new every day. I love doing it. And so I just rolled with it because I'm a stay-at-home mom. So I'm home all the time anyway. And I like to keep busy.
So how long ago was this when you did your first table?
It'll be 2 years in May.
Oh, wow, so that's fairly new.
Hmm.
Wow. Okay, so like tell us a little bit more because like you say you're a stay at home. What were you doing before you were a stay at home?
I did photography for 9 years. I was doing that fresh out of college. And it's just not as flexible because I had to leave and then I had to be on the computer and then I had to make sure that somebody could watch the kids because like I said, I actually had to leave to do the work. So it was a little more difficult to balance. And I just did it for so long, I kind of got a little uninterested because it was kind of repetitive.
So like from the repetitive of just seeing like the same people or the same events and just kind of like weddings, what type of photography did you do?
Yeah, mostly like families, but it was just like I didn't feel like I could be as creative as I wanted to be. And it's like I hit a plateau, I guess you can say.
Got it.
And it just started to feel a little dry.
Yeah, we all go through that little dry spell but we don't have the guts to also quit the work.
Yeah, that's it.
So
A lot of people get comfortable just I actually saw something today. It was like do something you're called to do so you can stop having an attitude every day or something like that. But I was like, oh, that's kind of makes sense. But sometimes you can't at the time.
Now, did you have like a financial backing before you took the leap?
I absolutely did not. I went to the store. I laugh about this all the time because of where I am now, but it's because I still have it, my first saw. And it's the smallest, it's a 4-inch saw, which now the stuff I build, I'm just like, I can never, back in the day, build what I'm building now with this little saw. But I just went to the store, got a little $60 saw, got a drill, that was like $20. I went to the pawn shops and just got stuff. I didn't even know how to use half of this stuff. I'm just going out here like, yeah, they did it, so I can too. And my dad helped me a lot with getting some stuff. My dad and my mom actually. But yeah, I didn't have anything set aside. It was really like when I say it was sporadic, it just came out of nowhere. And I'm like, I can do this. Let's go.
Right.
But yeah. But I made it work. It was having the tools that I do have now. I'm like, man, I was doing a lot. I still do a lot of labor, but back then I was doing a lot of labor. Like I was hand nailing things and like I don't, it's just kind of crazy to me. And then there's these things called pocket holes. I had a single pocket hole maker, and you had to move it down the piece of wood. Like you had to unclamp it, reclamp it, unclamp it, reclamp it. But now I have a jig for it. So I just slide the wood down and like hole, like it's real fast. But I
Nice.
was like, I used to do these individually. Like what was going through my head? And I was completely fine with it. So, but it's funny to look back and like and know what I started with and like I still made it happen.
Yeah, because that's one of the things about when it comes to following the passion and you know where you want to go. It's almost like the stuff comes naturally. Like you're willing to go through the pain because you're already doing something that you enjoy.
Yeah, and you
Um,
feel so invested.
yeah.
Not
So,
not money wise on my end, but it was in my heart.
so like with the because you just took a quick chop, I guess you could say, your in your job career from a completely different profession. Most time people go into something that's familiar. But when it came to just kind of doing a quick chop, what was your mindset going in, and like was your boyfriend or husband at the time like supportive in this effort?
He sure was. And I was
Oh,
actually really excited. I guess that's kind of what made me keep going because if he was just looking at me on the side, like, why are you even doing this? You're wasting your money getting all this stuff. But he was really intrigued. I'm like, oh, what can you do next? Let me see. Like, and he would buy me stuff. And my first winter got really, really cold. And I went in the garage and he surprised me with a space heater for the garage and a little stool so I'm not like bending down all day and hurting my
mm,
back. I'm just like, oh, it's the little things. But yeah, he was definitely supportive in that aspect. But
mm. Could you be able to do this if he wasn't as supportive? Do you think you got this far?
I think I could have. I'm pretty stubborn. Like if I want to do it, I'm gonna do it. But having him there, and because some days aren't great, but having somebody there to say, hey, this is just to reassure you, it's just a bump in the road. Take a day, you can do this. That kind of helped because sometimes me saying that to myself isn't the same as hearing it from somebody else.
So, what is the hardest thing you had to say so far that you've um, created?
I think anything with a drawer.
Mm,
So dressers and desks with storage, those are always, I still struggle a little bit with those, but I'm getting better. I have a method now. So, but it was definitely rocky. My first couple of storage pieces, I'm like, I probably did that completely wrong, but I'm getting it now.
good. Now, because we are talking about what business is, and a lot of people just think, it costs a lot to really start a business. When it came to um, doing your first piece for a sale, what was that conversation like?
Well, my first sale was actually one of those tables that I built. It was this is what I built to begin with. It was a table goes in your backyard or your front yard if you want to, but it has two cutouts so that you can put coolers in there. And so it's like a serve table. Like you
Oh,
put
nice.
all the drinks in the middle of it and people can just grab them if they want to. So it was kind of like an entertainment piece, but that was actually one of my first orders. So I basically, asked them what size they want, what color, deposits, and delivery. Those are usually my main like top questions.
Got it. Because I do see it here on Instagram, and it looks really cool. So,
The cooler table.
yes, the one with the two chairs to the side of it.
Yeah, those
Is
are
that the one?
fun. Oh,
Nice.
I don't know. Actually, I don't even know if I have it on there anymore because I redid my page.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's a cool table. I actually might make another one this year. because I want
Perfect.
to I want one with like a cooler and a fire pit in the middle. So that's my plan for this summer.
Nice. So with those particular strategies, what is the hardest, I guess you could say, the mindset in going into each piece? Is it just like you done something so repetitive that it becomes tiring, or do you just kind of like find a strategy on try to making these things a little faster?
I think that's why I like this, because I don't really have repeat orders. Like everything is really cut. Like nobody has the same exact table or the same exact wall piece. It might be the same concept. Like I may have made like a 7-foot cooler table and like a 4-foot cooler table, but everybody requests something different every time. So like I said, it may be the same item, but there's a different feature on it, or it's a different color. I'm just not like repeating the same thing every day. But I don't I don't know. As far as starting a project, I don't think anything is really difficult, because sometimes I really sit down and I'm like, where did this even come from in my brain? Like, I'm just like, oh, you want this floating something, something. I'm just like, okay, I'm going to do this, this, and this. And then I pause and I'm like, wait, where did that even come from? Like, I surprise myself sometimes. I'm like, I don't even, if people could see inside my brain, they'd be like, what? I mean, if I could too, like, I would just be like, where did that come from? But that's the most satisfying part too. But yeah, it's nothing too difficult. I think that's another reason why I like it. As far as getting started, I would suggest research, like deep research. I At the beginning, I actually went to a library and got actual hands-on books. But of course, we have YouTube now, and just go over the types of wood you can use, the types of joint methods, what kind of tools you need. Because I went in a little bit blind, but I also did a lot of research, like I said. But I say if you have some research and a few good tools, I say just get out there and try it, because you never know until you actually physically put your hands on it.
I'm actually taking notes right now because this is very similar to when I actually write out budgets, and actually is assisting people to write out budgets is to actually do the research on their own and how they feel about it, but also test it out, like give it a shot on a particular new budget because they've been trying it for so long on their own. So let's
Yeah.
try it, a different way, a different approach to it. And I like that you actually did not alleviate just saying, well, school's out, I'm not going back to college, but to actually say that there is something out there that could support me and my goals. This is
Yeah.
awesome. Kind of move on to the third segment, which is your features. And in this segment, I want to see about how would you go forward? How do you, Nisha, take from where you are today to take you to that next place? What is the next thing that you have on your mind right now?
The next thing for me, I actually want to do like pre-built sell. So even if I can get, I really want to do outdoor furniture. That's like my thing. Like I love to do outdoor furniture. So even at a point have builds that I pre-built and then maybe sell them in a storefront, or sell them online. That's actually really convenient, selling online and like in groups and things of that nature. I get a lot of sales from little like Facebook groups, social media groups. And I want to do e-commerce for smaller carved items. So I purchased the machine. It's called an X Carve, and it pretty much lets you custom carve like anything you can imagine. So I wanted to eventually, get large shipments to Amazon or shipping company and do mass orders from there. So that way in the background there's something rotating. But overall, I doubt I will ever give up custom builds because they're just so much fun. But yeah, I do want to have something, some like drop ship type thing going in the background, because it does get really tiring. I want to be able to take the winter off because it's really rough to work through the winter. And I missed the last 2 years of holidays because I was so busy with Christmas and getting stuff out. So ideally, I would love to be off from like November to maybe February or January and just have the e-commerce rolling to help fill that gap from when I'm taking breaks. But definitely a pre-built collection and my e-commerce, that would be ideal for me.
Nice. So will your children actually be part of this venture? Does any of them seem excited about it?
They all are. And
Nice.
my especially my 3-year-old, like he knows how to plane a piece of wood. Like he knows how to pre-drill. Like you have to pre-drill a hole. He knows
Mhm.
like where to go. He's the one that's the most interested. My older one, he likes to just like help if he knows I'm struggling a little bit. He'll be like, "Oh well, I'll hold this for you. Can we? Do you need to work outside today? We can go work." And I'm like, "Okay." My middle child's a little more quiet. I feel like he would be more admin style. But he helps too. And they're all super interested in what I'm doing. They're like, "Are we going to deliver something today?" And I'm just like, "Sure, yeah." But they're real excited about everything that I'm doing out there. I rarely am out there by myself because they always want to get involved, which is great. If they want to do that, then I sure will guide them to. But if they change their mind when they get older, that's fine with me too.
Awesome. And that's really good that your family is actually involved and the husband is supportive. Is he also working a regular job, or he started his own business as well?
He is working 9 to 5 right now, but
Good.
of course we're all at home, so he's still here. So we kind of, and then the kids are doing digital learning, so we're like rotating back and forth, and it's a little chaotic in here sometimes. But yeah, he wants to start his own business, so we're working on that, on getting that situated.
All right.
But for now, yeah, he's doing his 9 to 5 for now.
Are you guys actually like living off of still one of the incomes and just have yours kind of take care of all the other stuff? Or how you guys have that split up?
Yeah, the way we have it right now is kind of his income takes care of majority of the like mortgage and water, the reoccurring bills each month, plus additional like there's stuff on the side, and then me is more like the freestyle money. But right now I'm still kind of investing back into my business. So when I have the opportunity, I like to either get a new tool or get a new course or something that's going to benefit the business and help it grow. So like I said, right now the next thing we're going to invest in is doing the e-commerce and getting that flowing. But yeah, that's pretty much how we have it split up. Even though all of our stuff is together, we just in our heads, that's how we have it split up. Like yours is the main stuff, and mine is like trips and investing and things of that nature. So,
Nice. And that's a good way to kind of split it out. And like you said, it's something that works best for you and your family.
mhm.
Um, so is there anything that you want to share with the audience before we move on to the 4 questions?
I do want to say, I feel like
Well, I will wait the 4 to 6 weeks for my laptop stand because
yours is like more on the simple side, but still, yeah, like I said, it may take a little time.
I can wait. Okay. My cardboard box is working all right.
Yeah, we're gonna have to upgrade you over there.
Yeah. So, all right. So now you ready for the final four?
Okay, let's.
Alrighty. So what does wealth mean to you?
Wealth for me is more of a feeling rather than materials. It's confidence in what you have, as far as not like I said, not materials, but peace and balance. To me, that's what wealth is. Like that's what I strive for. Like that's when I feel rich, I should say. But it's never for me, it's never been a material thing. It's always about quality time and like I said, balance. So overall, yeah, that's what health is. I mean, wealth is for me.
Nice.
Wealth is health. Health is wealth.
What is your favorite financial book or non-financial book?
Okay, I'm gonna be a terrible person for this because I'm really terrible at reading. Not read. I know how to read, but I can't sit and read a book. I don't know, because I have to be like in 15,000 places at one time. But I started an audiobook, but it was on how to speak Spanish. So that was probably the last book that I read. But as far as it goes, I haven't sat down and read since like high school, which is probably bad. I'm more of a picture person and like steps. Like if there's a picture and it shows little bullet points at the bottom, that's my type of book. But a whole novel, I don't know. I can't sit still and just read.
I understand.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do better. My dad gave me Rich Dad Poor Dad.
That is actually a really good book. Did you actually read it?
If my dad is listening, of course. No. No. My husband read it though.
Oh, good. Somebody read it.
Yeah, like if he reads it and tells me what it's about and like the breakdown, I can do that. But when it comes to sitting and read, like all my friends know this, like she just can't sit down and just read and relax. I'm just on 10,000 all day, every day.
Wow. Well, then, a good easy read if you ever get around to it, um, which kind of goes along with what you've done, and it's called The Dip, and it's only like 80 pages.
Ooh, that sounds nice.
Yeah, like nice little short read. It took me about a couple months to read it, but because I'm the same way, I rather look at pictures and actual instructions.
Yeah.
But speaking of instructions, do you actually provide instructions for your pieces?
My pieces are actually delivered whole.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But when it comes to shipping, that's a whole nother monster that I have not figured out yet, because people out of the state want, like tables or desks. And I'm like, I have to figure out how I can break it down and make it into an assembly piece rather than a whole custom piece. But yeah, majority of my stuff just comes whole.
Okay. Well, good thing I ordered a small piece.
Yeah. I can do that.
Thanks. Let's see. Number 3. What did you learn from your worst job?
My worst job. What was my worst job? I liked all my jobs. Oh, that's so hard. I loved every job that I had. I don't remember being like, this is terrible, I hate it. But I was in the restaurant industry for a while. I actually started there and ended there before becoming a photographer. But I guess the main issue at a lot of places is management. That's it's usually not my complaint, because I go in there and I do what I have to do and I represent your business how I need to represent it, and I leave. As long as you're good to me, I'm good to you. But a lot of people's complaints were management at a lot of places. So I would say that's maybe the main thing. I don't know. I still let them do their job. I just made sure I was doing what I had to do. But a lot of people that complained about that weren't doing their job correctly. So they were being prompted or pulled to the side, and then they felt attacked. But I know what unfair is, which like I said, I didn't really see anything too crazy when I was working. But yeah, a lot of people don't like how management operates usually when they're in the working world.
Okay, so what is your favorite pastry?
My favorite pastry, I guess cheesecake.
Is it just a plain cheesecake?
Yeah, I like plain cheesecake, but I want it to have thick crust. It has to have like a lot of crust. I like the crust more than the top. If that's considered a pastry.
That's interesting.
I guess it's more considered well, no, that's a pastry still.
Yeah, it's a pastry. I usually consider the whole pie the pastry. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
You don't like cheesecake?
I do. Um, but my favorite one out of the mix would have to be the strawberry swirl marble
Oh yeah,
cheesecake.
that one's good too.
Yeah.
But I could just eat a plain cheesecake.
Yeah. I mean, I make cheesecake in a jar, so
Ooh,
um
that sounds good.
makes it nice and easy and portable. So alrighty. Done with the final four questions. So where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Instagram at Woodworks ATL. That is WOODWRX ATL. I'm also, okay, I'm not managing my Facebook very well, so I'm not going to say that one yet. But I also have a website, which is woodworksatl.com.
All right. You heard it, everybody. Again, Nisha is here for your custom wood projects. Just give her 4 to 6 weeks to finish it and then another 4 to 6 weeks to ship it if you're out of state.
Depends on weather and children and wood supply and things of that nature.
And again, everybody, I'm your host, Anthony, and you're listening to the About That Wallet podcast.